Yeah, you have to keep a level head. You know, he said just stay level, stay humble, of course, and then you got to really rise up and bring it every time you step on the practice floor, and then, of course, when you play the games. And again, they just, my challenge to them is you're unbeaten. They know that. You just are you willing to be unbeaten for this game that's in front of you? And that's the thing. They should embrace the opportunity, and they've earned the fact that they're in a good spot, but it's what's in front. But I think I've said this before, the experiences of last year, having some success and some attention, hopefully helps the guys that have been through it. But as you mentioned, you know, human nature sometimes tends to make you just wander a little bit, and that's the second we do that, I think that's when our guys are brought back. And that's our job as coaches, to be kind of the watch guard or the watchdog and just demand stuff and get them as ready as you can. And, you know, every time we go out, whether it's a home or road game in conference play, you're just in battles, and you have to be right. And I think that always brings you back to center. So, like I said, you have to respect the game, and the second you think you're a little bit better than you are, usually you get a pretty good reminder. Yeah, again, they've been competitive like Boston College. They're right there. There's not a whole lot of separation from, you know, a lot of these teams in the league. Everybody's right there. But Georgia Tech, they have some big hosses in there inside. Miller was a heck of a player, but they've got they're starting two big bodies inside, a transfer from Maryland, and I believe the other young man he might be a junior college transfer, but he's I've got to look at that, but he's a terrific fit. They're very physical, and you have to be ready for play on the glass. Coach Gregory does a great job. They've got some very good perimeter players, and I think every team, you know, Boston College, Notre Dame, they have a little more of a stretch four guard types. Well, Georgia Tech is a little more two physical inside guys. They bring a pretty popular name here. Ralph Sampson's son is on that team, so they bring in some very good forwards and a little more of a physical banging team that's similar to Coach Gregory when he was at Michigan State. I think the way they play models that. So you have to be ready for a different kind of style, a different kind of team, but they do have the interior presence that they've had. Different personnel, but that kind of mindset.
I know when you came here, you've seen the place full before. You've had games where the crowd is full, but it seems like it's been every night consistently. It's been a full house.
Yeah.
What does that do for you and the guys?
Crowd has been great. You know, to have, I mentioned before, even in summer when the students have been gone over the winter break, to see the people turn out and the excitement that's generated here, that's really great, because it's worth it. We even had a great turnout at Boston College. You could hear the chants, and those things certainly are exciting. So anytime we can draw energy from the crowd and our guys are excited to play anytime but at home and make this special, you work to build situations like that, and it's been nice to see the crowd responding and supporting these guys.
I love the term that you use, that defense travels. And I was talking with Malcolm, and he respects that. How have you gotten these guys? That's not the sexiest thing that sells these days, to buy into that. And what does that mean, defense travels?
I mean, I think everybody has a formula or a way that they have to play to be the best they can be and give them a chance at success. And I think our guys understand, for us, it starts with that, being as sound and tough-minded defensively and really making people work against us. And, you know, you just look at any pro sport, any high level, it usually comes down to all of them have a strong defense. Now, you got to be good, obviously, on the offensive end. We talk about that. But offense can maybe come and go a little bit, but defense is a little more about, you know, your heart and your effort, and as long as your approach is fairly simple, that should remain a little more constant perhaps than an offensive side of the ball or offensive side of the floor. And so we kind of tell our guys that the defense can stay with you wherever you go, and there's certain things, of course, offensively that do too, but that's what we try to hang our hat on, and has been good for us, and our guys have seen it validated when they've played well, had some offensive games, but have won games with their defense. You know, and there's maybe been a couple offensively where it's pulled us out. Late in the BC game, they made some plays down the stretch at Notre Dame, so that's important. But it's a catchy phrase too. The defense does travel, and you know, anything you can do to get your guys thinking that way is important.
Speaking of traveling, do you think London has a little something extra on the road?
Yeah, he really, I thought, I told the media guys after the game, I thought this late in the second half, you don't always see it statistically, but he really made some plays, whether it was banging the threes, driving, dropping passes, coming up with some big plays that were the difference. And London has a good feel for seeing what the game requires, what's needed, and steps up. Whether it's more on the road or more at home, I don't know if it's just more needed, but thankful that he has that feel because we needed all of that on Saturday.
Is this team at a point now where you don't have to worry about things like getting them up for a game like Thursday where Georgia Tech comes in kind of struggling, do you think?
I hope not, because, again, we saw they had Notre Dame beat at Notre Dame, and they've played everybody tough, and we respect certainly the league and every opponent and the talent level that's there. I think because we're in that spot we're in, we're off to a good start. In order to maintain that, the second you take a look past a team, you're making a huge mistake. And our guys, I don't believe we're built like that, and I think they know that. But we'll get as ready as we can and prepare for them. And my hope is that it wouldn't because of the maturity and the experience of our players. So that's what I'm banking on. But as I said, as coaches, we have to be on guard for all that stuff and push them. And all you got to do is watch film of the teams in our league, and you realize there's not much separation between, standing-wise, middle, bottom, top, in my opinion.
You've mentioned him a couple of times, but Isaiah Wilkins really has come to his own in the last couple of games. He seems to really fighting for play time. Could you talk about his play and how he's really bought into the system?
Yeah, he's, as a first year, he's really done a nice job being patient, and then when his number's been called, just giving us a nice lift. And how he does it, he's very energetic. I mean, he brings a lot of activity defensively. He's smart, great help defender, very team-oriented. He came in with that. I think his high school coach played for Malcolm Brogdon's high school coach. He's done a great job. So he's a very good help defender, and it's kind of contagious when he's out there. I decided in that Notre Dame game to put him in there because we were a little flat, and some teams, as I mentioned, have almost a 4-guard lineup. So Isaiah's mobility has helped us. He's done a good job on the glass, and has a level of poise in the game that he doesn't get affected sometimes by the moment or the magnitude of the situation he's in. He just goes in and works, and he's willing to, look, Coach, I got to be the scout guy in practice. I'll do that. If you need me for minutes in games, I'm happy, and he's just working to get better, but he's obviously got the team in front of himself.
Are you sort of amazed at times when you talk with Malcolm? I mean, here's a guy with 3 graduate courses he's taking now, and clearly he's a smart kid, could have gone to Harvard. Are you amazed at what he's got on his plate and how he's handling it?
Yeah, well, he certainly is mature, and I say he's an old soul. I just did an interview about him, and they said, well, what was he like when you recruited him? And I said, he's amazing how mature he was then, and he kind of has that. He is an old soul, but I think the injury and him sitting out a year, I think it was whenever you're faced with a situation like that where you have a significant injury and you're not 100% sure, is basketball going to be there, how long, it just makes you take a good look. And Malcolm is so well grounded with what he wants to do with his life beyond basketball, and I think that even frees him up to be his best when he has basketball for him. He does not take it for granted. He loves to play, always been even-keeled, but he has he's making the most out of this opportunity, getting a degree and a graduate degree from the Baton School Leadership at a place like Virginia, playing in the ACC in this league, enjoying the kind of success he has. That's what you envision for young men, and I think that's making the most out of the student-athlete experience, without a doubt.
So he made the right move not going to Harvard?
I think his grandfather still thinks he hasn't, but I believe he has. I hope he feels that way. I'm hopeful.
Do a story about Mariel, and his dad obviously is a unique story in and of himself, coming over from Africa. It seems like he's really pushed education, maybe as a result of that. What have you seen? What did you see in recruiting him and now?
Yeah, we tried to get him early. We were fortunate. He committed to. It came down to us and Marquette. And then when Coach Williams left Marquette, and he got his release, they contacted us and said, because you guys were recruiting him, he really had a hard decision before. Would you still be interested? And certainly, we wanted him. Absolutely. Everybody has a different path, but I think Mariel went to a very good school, went to where Mike Tobey played at Blair Academy, where they value education. They saw the path that Mike Tobey has taken, just like Isaiah saw the path that Malcolm, and I think they've seen some success. They've seen guys work in this program. I think the familiarity of, hey, I can talk to a guy that I trust a little more. He's been where I was. He's at a level, and they can say, hey, is Coach Bennett a jerk? Is that staff a jerk? They're good guys, and I think that they say, no, that team those are the right kind of guys. You're going to work basketball-wise, you're going to get better. You're going to be challenged in the classroom, and it does have a family feel. I think all those things drew Mariel to here after he had to make another decision. And of course, his dad is promoting the, it's more than just basketball with his background and all that Mariel has going for him.
Just to follow up on that, is that helpful when they're freshmen too, to have somebody they can lean on who's an upperclassman? Because I know, we had the transfers coming through here. All the freshmen always want more minutes. Just to have somebody on the other side of that.
Absolutely.
It's better.
I think that started with Joe Harris. Well, the guys before, but I saw it in Joe. He really took the young guys when they came in and reached out and said, listen, you're going to go through tough times and hang in there. It's worth it in the end. And I think we have such a good culture, whatever you want to say, in place where the older players, the upperclassmen, look at the first years and take them under their wing and really encourage them, talk truth to them, and build into them for what they're going to experience. And then, it's kind of that idea, pay it forward. So hopefully they'll be doing that when they become upperclassmen. So I think that is huge when, of course, coaches do that, but when you have a peer doing that with you and, a player you're looking up to who's been through it, I think that makes the transition a lot smoother and helps these young guys when they go through the adversity that is inevitable.
When do you get over the Packers loss?
No comment.